Okay, you're live on YouTube.
I would like to open the meeting of the Architectural Review Committee. Today is Thursday, May 13th, 2021, and it is 6:30 p.m. I'm going to start by taking a roll call. When I call your name, just say present or here. And I'll start with myself, Bernadette McLeod, and I am present. Carol Marsh.
Present.
Steve Sally.
Present.
Paige McMahon.
Present.
Deborah Oakes.
Present.
Nancy Jorgensen.
Present.
And we have our recording secretary, Melanie Taylor, with
Present.
us tonight. Okay, so first on the agenda, we're going to move right along. We have the French Cable Station Museum, 41 South Orleans Road, re-roof museum, except for lower roofs on the back. And we have Paul Cazalt present tonight to present the meeting.
Yep. Hi, Paul Derry with Cazalt Roofing.
Okay.
Yep.
Just give us a little synopsis.
So they're having trouble with their current red cedar roof. They've got ongoing leaks. We actually did the roof, oh boy, maybe 12 years ago or so. I think they had it power washed, which kind of induced the trouble they're having now. So we've got multiple donations with our company, Mid Cape Home Centers. We're pretty much doing this on a pro bono type basis for the most part, with some expense to the folks at the museum. They would like to go with asphalt shingles. And I think that's why we're here at this point. And they chose cobblestone gray, and I'm not sure you have any color samples or color charts with you, so it's kind of hard to explain that color, but that's the crux of it. We're going for a re-roof. We're donating a lot of materials and time to help them out with a roof that's failing.
Okay, we did have a sample and we should have all looked at it at the town hall. So we are familiar with the color. And what is the area that you're leaving? It says that you're leaving some of the lower roofs on the back. They'll remain in.
Yeah, they're not, I wouldn't call them outbuildings. I think they are attached, but they're just accessory roofs, not part of the main broader roof system over the building. Maybe a little roof over an entryway in the back. And I believe, I want to say a pump house or just a small, really small roof, two roofs in the back. That's the.
Those will remain wood.
Yes.
Okay. All right, do we have any questions from the members? Anybody have any questions or concerns?
I'd just like to ask a question, please. It's Steve. Paul, I assume that the change to the asphalt is driven by cost and the problem that you can't get good quality wood shingles and so on and so forth?
Yes, that's primarily the case. You all may or may not know that the building industry and trades overall are being walloped with supplies and crazy lead times and procurement of materials. So that was the main reason, cost, and which is why we arrived at the asphalt. But before we go any further, I have to say, cobblestone gray and Certainty brand shingles are no longer being produced. So before we go any further, I don't know if this is going to have to be revisited, but that color is not being produced. And that's part of the reason that the problems we're seeing in our industry. The lack of manpower to process orders is what we're seeing. So a lot of these shingle manufacturers are simply stopping production on some of their colors, and that happens to be one of them. So, I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I was just alerted to that today. So I don't know.
I would say that if you could substitute for pewter wood or that the Moyer black or whatever,
Yeah,
it's very similar. So I mean, if it was one of those colors or
yep.
I would say you wouldn't really have to come back. They're very similar. They're hard to tell
Yeah.
apart.
And, or weathered wood, I would assume would be okay to replicate a cedar roof.
That would be fine. That's very
Okay.
typical.
Yeah, just no blues and reds, right?
And white, that white color is horrific.
Yeah, okay. Then that was my next question. If you were to give me some preferred colors that I could present to the folks there, but you've given me 3, so if you think of any others that you're okay with, I'd be happy to hear them, because it may very well be that maybe some of these aren't even available. So the more you can give me that are acceptable, the better, if any.
The ones that I'm familiar with is pewter wood, and the weathered wood is fine, and that,
Yep.
I don't know how
Moray
you
black.
pronounce it, Moray black. Those are
Okay.
ones that I'm familiar with, that I'm totally comfortable with. Anything
Okay.
in the gray family, or, you know,
Sure.
I mean, if it's gonna be radically different, I think that, you would probably want to drop off a sample.
Mhm.
And we could all go down and look at it, at the town hall.
Okay.
How do the rest of you feel?
I'm okay. This is Nancy. I'm okay with your recommendation, Bernadette. You're more familiar with those colors than we are, and it sounds like they're all in the same family, so that I'm very comfortable if one of those are chosen.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
I think if you were going out of the realm into a green or a red or a blue
Right.
or a white, you would definitely have to come back. And those might be the only colors that are available.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I have heard of people going to, up to Wellfleet to get shingles because there weren't any more in Orleans, or, maybe if you just try some out of the box places. I really don't
Yeah.
know what the lead time is on shingles. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
No, I think it's more of an effect of the shingle manufacturers. I think the ship has sailed with all the locations. See, we have to go through Mid-Cape Home Centers. They're one of the big donors of products. So, and what they're seeing is the availability from Certainty, the manufacturer that we're going with.
Right.
So, understood. I will see what we have available out of those 3 colors, or like colors to those, as I understand it. And we can go from there.
Okay. All right. Anybody else, or do I entertain a motion to?
Bernadette, I just had one thought. This is Carol. Well, Paul, how long do you anticipate that the back shingles will last?
The ones that we're not addressing?
Yes.
Well, I didn't really do a comprehensive inspection on that because it was never part of the scope of work, to be honest with you. I don't even remember if we replaced those back when we did the cedar roof. I don't think they're affected. And what's underneath those roofs isn't critical to my understanding. The problem they're having is with all the historical artifacts up in that space underneath the main roof that's getting water on it with certain leaks. But I do not know the answer to that.
What I was just thinking was, if cobblestone gray, I mean, maybe in the future it may never be available. If you were to be able to get that and then they couldn't match it, would it be better to just go with a gray or a black to begin with, so that you wouldn't have a matching issue if ever you needed to replace those back shingles?
Yeah, that sounds all logical to me. It's you just never can tell when they're going to discontinue shingle colors. That it can be a problem. All we're being told, and we don't have a ton of answers. It's really kind of annoying, in fact, but they've stopped production because of manpower loss. Will it come back online? We think so, but we just don't know, ultimately. But that is a good approach, stick with the most common color that's acceptable, that we feel probably will still be in play. Is, I think, what you're getting at?
Yes.
Yes, no, and I agree with that. And the ones that were just laid out, the pewterwood, moray black, and weatherwood, have been around for quite some time. I think longer than the cobblestone, if I had to guess. I've been doing this a long time, so, but I think those are the common ones. Whether they're available right now, I'll just have to find out.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody want to make a motion or have any other comments?
I'll make the motion, Bernadette, but you're gonna have to help me with the names of the tiles, okay?
Okay,
I move that we accept the application as submitted, noting that the cobblestone gray is being replaced with one of the three following colors.
pewter wood, weathered wood, or moire black.
How do you
And-
spell moire?
Moire, I think.
That is correct.
Is it really a black?
Then it'd be Y.
It's a charcoal gray. It's a
Oh, okay.
dark, it's quite dark, but it's very pretty.
Yeah, okay, great.
And it would
Thanks.
look nice with that building because it's, you know, it's either, it's either white or a light gray or is it a light blue? It would look
White.
nice with that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? We're going to have 5 voting members tonight. Nora and Carol will not vote, so I will take a roll on the vote. Paige,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
and Bernadette says aye. Motion passes 500. Okay, good luck, Paul. And if you have to come back, you don't have to fill in a whole application, I don't believe. I think you could submit the color. I'm not really sure, but we could deal with that once you find out.
Okay, I'll let you
What's
know our
available.
progress.
Okay, great.
Thank you
all.
for doing that, Paul. Thank you for doing that
Yeah.
for the
Thank you
museum.
for the,
It's
yes,
our
the
pleasure.
donation.
Yeah,
We
the
want this to-
donation is wonderful.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now.
Okay, so next on the agenda, we have Kramer and Daughters, 12 West Road, application for 2 signs for a new business. And we have Constance, is it Kramer?
Kremer.
Kremer.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't you give us your presentation, please?
So the application is for 2 signs for the new business. As illustrated in the packets. It's a street sign with Kremer and Daughters on it, and the website, and then a building sign. And the building sign is on the second building on that lot of 12 West Road, set back from the parking lot.
Okay, so the smaller sign goes underneath underneath Collins Galleries.
That's right.
And you have a small sign on the side of that will go under the fine arts sign.
That's correct.
And then the other one goes on the face of the building.
Yes, there was an existing sign there that was on top of the building. The sign is going to hang from 2 eyelets off to the right
Okay,
on the front.
so it's not going to be attached like that one is.
No,
Okay, it's going to be attached. I see it on the pergola.
correct.
Okay. Nice sign, very
It is
nice.
a nice sign.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Thank you.
I like the layout.
Well, and
Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Talk to us
I
a
have
little
one
bit.
quick question. So what is I see the highlighted color bush, and so where will that color exactly appear?
highlighted color, but you mean, I
The
think it's
bush.
the gold.
Oh, got it. So that's just
There's
illustrating a bush.
there's a
Okay,
Yeah, there's shrubs.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was part of the sign too, first.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was describing color.
Yeah, no, it took me a while to figure it out.
The
Thank you.
color, yeah, the color chip is the gold foil, and it will just
Yeah.
be on the ampersand.
No,
which-
it's very nice.
Okay,
Wonderful, thank you.
yeah. Nancy?
Nancy?
Yes, talk to us a little bit about the lighting that you proposed.
Well, because the sign exists, it didn't really have lighting, existing night lighting. And the lighting on top of the building is a non-working light. So I went to Todd there, who owns the building, and to Allison Collins, who owns Collins Galleries, about putting a down light as is recommended. But of course, Allison's sign is on top and she doesn't want anything screwed onto her sign, which I can understand. And then we've got a ladder sign construction.
Right.
So these were solar, which we all really liked because then we didn't have to trench and hardwire, which was not an option at this time. So we also didn't want a lot of cables coming out of all the buildings. So the solar light basically is going to mimic any hardwired down light. They're small, but they're ample light, and we can put them at the top of the ladders and angle them down.
How many lights are you planning?
We were thinking we would do 2 on each side, so 4 total.
4 lights?
4 lights?
Well, because they're not going to go on the top, but we can do 2. I can do 1. It's just going to have to be on one side. When you have a ladder construction, it's hard to choose because we can't put it at the top. And even if I did screw something into the top of Allison's sign, it wouldn't necessarily come down and illuminate my sign. Does that make
So
sense?
When you say, excuse
You're
me.
saying two on each side,
Correct.
1 on each side, not
No,
4
she's
on
saying
one side.
4.
No,
No.
not 4 on one side.
2 on one side. Yeah, 2 on one side of the ladder and on the other side.
Oh,
For a total of 4.
That's correct.
Okay. And then what about the other sign? That won't have any?
I'll have
One that's on, the one on the building?
I'll have 1 above it because I can put that right in the pergola, right above where it's hanging.
Oh, how big are the lights?
Well, I put the dimensions page is included in the packet.
Right,
think it was
9 by
11 by 9.
11? 9 by 11?
that's
Yeah.
big.
Was it 9 by 11? Yeah, but that's, yeah, yep.
Right, almost 9
I mean,
and a half.
it's 57 inches across the ladder. So they're big signs.
I would
But we can
think-
do 2. We don't have to do 4. We were just trying, I think we have to be able to, we have to be able to put one up and see. But yeah, it's just about that nothing existed. So I'm trying to problem solve with.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. Can you just clarify where you intend to put them on the post? Up high? And then it would,
Preferably, I'd like to put one on the wooden bar right underneath Allison's sign where it says Collins Gallery, and then it would shine onto mine.
oh, I see. Okay.
So I could get away with just 1 on either side if I'm just worried about my sign.
So you're going to put, one's going to go
I still don't.
above
care.
Collins Gallery sign. And then, I mean, 2 are going to go above the Collins.
I'm not here for Allison's sign, but because we were doing that down lighting on this ladder construction, we were looking at it together about how we could light the signs. Hers is above mine. It's much bigger, and it also doesn't have anything to mount the light on above it, as you can see from the diagram.
Right, yes.
So we were thinking about putting them on the side, the actual ladder, right? The 2 white posts.
Posts.
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
And then we could have them converge, 1 on either, 2 on either side converging on the sign. But I'm open to suggestions.
I think it would be useful, this is Steve speaking, to
Mhm. clarify
the dimensions. From looking at the brochure picture, it would seem that the 11 1/4 inch dimension relates to the projecting arm
That's right.
and the light housing.
That's right. That's what I was
So I
saying.
think
So
it's
it
important
is correct, but there's an arm.
I think it's important to visualize that. And then what would the 9-inch dimension would be? That would be the base that attaches to the sign.
Sign.
So it projects out and then is tipped back to illuminate the
Right.
sign.
I don't have it physically. But yes, I think it's more the canopy of the light, the width. It basically, they're giving you the largest dimensions. So it's not the base that's on the actual where you're attaching it to the sign. It's the longest part is the arms. That's 11 3/4 or 11 inches. And then the actual light is 9
I think it's important to know that the light itself is not a foot in diameter.
Correct. Thank you for
So
clarifying.
is a light 2 inches? I still don't really, what's
I
the
feel
2
bad
inch
because now I
dimension?
gotta pull it up.
What is a 2 inch? I think it will
It's not a
probably
big
be-
light. I mean, this is for
Yeah.
a real, yeah.
It's for a real estate sign. I'm sure it will be not too much light.
I think it's the brightest.
4
but
of
it's
them
still
might be.
supposed to emit a decent amount,
But
but
only 2 lights are going on on each side. So only 2 lights are shining on one side of the sign. The other 2
Right.
lights are shining on the other side. Is that correct?
yes.
Nancy?
If I may ask a question, did you consider, since you're going to trim the bush that's underneath there, plantings will be trimmed. Did you consider a solar light similar to this, but on a stake that you could put in the ground and then just shoot it up on the 2 signs?
We didn't because I thought it was specified that we needed downlighting.
Okay. Does this light come in white?
No. I can look for one. But the signs are black and white, right?
Yeah, so the black works.
One's black.
It's hard to picture, you
Where,
know, from the images of the, width of the posts and that crossbar looks pretty narrow. I can't, and then the size of the lights. I'm just having a little hard time seeing how it fits.
Would mount. Well,
I
wouldn't
get
it
it
have
on
to
the
be?
side, if you put it on the post and then it's angled back towards your sign, I think that would work. But if it's above, isn't the light just going to hang over your sign? There's no room, you know what I
Well-
mean? It's going to block your sign.
Well, actually, when we started this whole light conversation,
Yeah.
I started with the lights on the sides, angled to the signs.
Right.
So that's how I saw it. And I think
Yeah.
that is the cleanest look.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see where it fits on the crossbar at all.
It won't.
That was just another option if you didn't like the idea that they were on the side of the ladder.
oh, but
coming
you
in.
didn't start saying, I thought you were saying that they were gonna be on the crossbars. So
Yeah.
this is the first I've heard of that. That makes the most sense to be on the post.
Yes,
And
that's how we saw it.
The crossbar is very thin.
Yeah,
It's only like 2 inches, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to problem
Make it
solve
work.
as we chat
Right.
about it, because I thought you didn't like the idea that it would be on the posts.
Well, now
I
that
mean,
we're
yeah,
looking
I
at
think-
that,
That's what, yes. So
Does
we're
it-
all saying the same thing, and I apologize I even brought that up.
but does it fit? Is it going to just be these? I'm thinking too, just for your signs, there isn't much distance there, back from the sign for the light to illuminate. You're just gonna have these black this black, the picture looks small, but the 11 inches, that's pretty big, sticking off each side in front of your sign. I don't know. I'm having a hard time.
I mean, I'd
envisioning
have,
it.
sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I was, I passed by Academy Place and I was looking at Todd Thayer and Ed Benz's and Craig Sweeney. They just put in new signs and they have black lights coming out. And I would be surprised if that whole arm and the light wasn't almost 11 inches.
Well,
Maybe.
we could look at.
I'm picturing it like these, it's going to look like these ears around your, around your sign.
Maybe.
I put the sign up without,
I don't know. Yes, that's
And yet they're so, but your signs are so elegant. That's why.
right. We don't want to mess it up with those lights.
Ears, I love that picture.
all right, I'm just gonna take a leap here. Why do you need, are you gonna be open at night? Why do you need lights
no,
on your
not
sign? Like, could you try the
We
sign
don't.
without the lights first?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Would you consider trying just the sign without the lights and see how that
Absolutely.
works for you?
Absolutely.
Because I agree with everyone else. I think the lights are really going to do a disservice to your very elegant looking sign. And if you're not going to be there at night, you're going to have a light on the other sign. Maybe just wait and see how it plays out.
Sure. If I do not need a light at the sign for now, then that's what I'll do.
And then the other thing is, while you have to have, I don't know what's the term. We do say downlight, but also there are people who have lights that shine up, but then have a hooding, a shade around it, basically.
Mhm.
As long as the light doesn't go into the sky, I think it works, right? We haven't done a light review in a while, but that wasn't just a basic downlight hanging above the sign. But there are definitely places that have a light on the ground, like Nancy was saying, that shines up on the sign, but not anywhere else. That's the issue, right? It can't shine anywhere else.
Steve has a little example here.
You got the bush.
Oh, he's got the lights.
Yeah, there's your lights in front of your sign. I mean, that's not going to look, that is not going to look good. It's a beautiful sign. I think you're ruining it. Or take Deborah's suggestion of doing a little bit more research, take your time and see if there's some lights that you could put on a stake that shoot right on your sign and that are solar power. I mean, even if they're up a little bit higher in the middle of the bush and the light shoots at your sign.
Right.
Right. Okay. I mean, we're talking, it's in a raised bed and then you've got bushes that are like 3.5 feet high. So
That's
that
right.
light's gonna have to be 4 feet.
There's metal stakes that you could put into the ground and have the light on that post, have it solar and have it shooting right at your sign.
Okay.
You put one of those on each side and you got what you want without ruining. No,
on the side of it.
No, on the ground.
In the front of it.
Okay. I don't want to block the sign. I already have to trim the bushes. So then putting a light on a stake right in front of the sign.
No, not in front of the sign, below it, shooting up right on your sign.
Okay.
Angled up.
Angled up. Thank
Okay,
you.
so we can have
Thank you,
angled
Dave.
up lighting. Okay, good to know.
But I think, you would do yourself a real disservice after having such an elegant looking sign to have those big dark lights on either side,
Right.
especially if it's not necessary.
Sounds
Or
good.
if you do decide to do it with the lights, maybe come back with like a mock-up or actually other examples of what it would look like
Right.
on the sign, because it's really challenging to envision it. And I'm not coming up with a good scenario
Okay.
in my imagination. And by the way, on the ground, I think you can be back from the sign and shine on it.
Sure.
You know, that it doesn't have to be, we're not saying underneath the sign, but from the
I don't have any
ground on
room.
either
There's
side.
shrubs everywhere around these signs, but
Mhm.
I should have, I thought there was photographs of that I took in the packet. I included a photograph with the sign, but
Well,
Well,
but
there's
that's
some
okay. I think
there are photographs of the shrubs, but you're gonna cut them back. Correct?
well, not that much. We've already trimmed them down, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
otherwise they're gonna look dead if I just
Right.
hack them
Oh,
at
you'll
this
be
point.
surprised. They'll come
Maybe in the
back.
fall, they'll look better.
Yeah,
I
and
think
if
you
they
should
look
need to-
terrible, just remove them and put something else low around the base of the sign, some flowers or something. You know, I mean, if they look terrible, then just take them out. Why don't you put the
I'll
sign up,
ask Todd to do that.
research the lights? You know, if you can purchase the lights and put them up and they look good, you know, take pictures of them. If they don't look good, you'll take them down and send them back.
Okay,
I
Could-
mean,
what
Okay.
about the other pieces? She wants a light on the building sign where it can be mounted above the sign on the pergola.
Right.
I don't see any problem with that. The only
No.
question is, will you care if it doesn't necessarily match, well, the other side, well, yeah, the other lights? Because personally,
don't
I
you
would
have to
say,
kind of
if you
pull
want
in?
to do this light, the same light you've picked for the back, for the building sign, then I see that works, I think. But the front sign, so then you just have to decide if you want to go ahead and do that now and worry about the front sign later, potentially not being able to have the same looking light on those signs.
I mean, do you see them at the same time? Don't you have to pull
No.
into the driveway
No,
to see the other sign?
I'm just being obsessive, you know?
Yeah,
No, you won't.
They all
you
have
won't.
to be the same.
Especially if they're
They don't.
black, you won't notice that they're not the same model. But I agree with Deborah that the light on the sign on the building is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
okay.
all right, so
So can we,
can we decide?
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion and then if there's more discussion, then we can. I move that we accept the application for the signs as presented. With regard to the application for lighting, we approve the light for the building sign. And it was agreed that we would hold off doing this lighting for the front signs to find a better option. Does that make sense?
yes,
Is that all right with you, Constance?
It is. I
Okay,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Did you get that, Melanie? Of course she did.
I'm writing it down, but it needs to be seconded.
I'll second it. Nancy Jorgensen.
Thank you.
okay, all in favor, Paige,
Aye.
Stephen,
Oops.
Deborah,
I,
Nancy,
Aye.
and Bernadette says aye. Motion passes 500. Good
Thank
luck.
Thank you.
Luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Washer Shore Music LCC, 12 Cove Road. Replace existing sign with sign for new business. And we have Monica, who is presenting? Monica?
Monica Fasano, Monica Rizzio. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. So yes, I will be replacing the existing Francis sign with my sign, Watch the Shore Music.
Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your business? You have my curiosity. What is Washington
Yeah,
Music going to be?
absolutely. So I'm going to be teaching private music instruction for kids and adults. I'll be doing different ensembles like fiddle ensemble, ukulele classes. So yeah, I'm really excited. I started a business, a music school in Dennis over 12 years ago. And when COVID hit, I just decided to go out on my own and, just be a solo business. So Wash the Shore Music is really excited to be in Orleans, as I've had many students on that side of the Cape for a while.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing you didn't put in here was a picture of the existing sign. Is there an existing sign, or there's one
No.
on the building, right?
Yeah, it was on the building, I thought.
Frances took it down.
Okay.
Yeah. She took down the sign on the building, and then she took down the other sign too, the one that was on the blue post.
Okay, so you're reusing the post, or she took the post down too?
No, I'm going to be putting up 2 white posts that you can see that is in the permit. And yeah, so I'll be doing that.
There's no sign on the building, Monica?
There's no sign on the building. No, she took it down.
I know, but you're not putting up a sign?
I'm not putting a sign up on the building right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll just be on a post, on 2 posts.
Okay, and is it in the same location where hers was?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It's gonna be in the same location as her sign was.
okay. I mean, it's hard from the site plan to tell.
I know.
Where the street is and where the
I know.
building. I mean,
I got excited with the yellow highlighter because
right.
it is kind of hard to see. But yeah, it'll remain where her sign was.
Okay. All right. And it's the same size that was basically there, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so it's 6 feet, 6 feet high. Is that what it is?
What did she say? Sign dimensions 30.
Oh, 30 by 36. Okay,
Yeah.
and it stands 6 feet off the ground. Yeah,
Ground.
very nice. I like the logo.
Yeah, the
Well,
logo
I do
is
thank you.
there.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah,
cute.
very nice.
All right. Any other questions, anybody? The post will be white.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So, on page 3, it looks like in the sign mock, it's more of like a cobalt blue, but then for the background little thumbnail there, it says dark blue, and that looks like more of like a navy. So just curious, like which color is more intuitive?
It looks a lot like the same color as a Sotheby sign, the Gibson Sotheby real estate sign. It's like that type of blue.
That's why we ask for the samples, because the Xerox
Yeah.
scans do not depict
Yeah.
the real color.
Yeah.
So
Well, I went.
This is a piece of vinyl, the real stuff that they're using, this dark.
Yeah,
blue.
that's the real stuff. Yeah, I went to Dawn Fancy's office and she gave me a strip of the actual one.
Yeah,
That
so
will be-
then it is the darker blue, not
Yeah.
So it
the,
is
not
darker
the printer
not
blue.
the soft blue.
It's this
Yeah.
actual vinyl.
One
Right,
shot.
that's why we're not accepting any applications that don't have the samples, because they do not, they don't reproduce well on a scanner and emailed, and the color's all washed out. It's not even the same color.
It looks like it's called One Shot Dark Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name, Monica?
That's it.
On the chip that I have, it says One Shot Dark Blue.
Yeah.
That's the one.
All right, that's what will be in our notes, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Any lighting?
Oops.
Yes, I am gonna do lighting, and it's gonna be the existing lighting that was on Francis's sign.
Okay.
On the post, she had a
Um,
sign.
Yeah, it'll be affixed to the interior post.
And it's there or it's not there?
It is there.
It is.
Yeah,
Okay, so if we drive by, we can see what's there.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
you can see it. Yep.
You didn't include any pictures of it though, no.
I didn't include any pictures of that, no. If you give me sharing capabilities, I can show it to you right now because I have it up on my computer.
You're able to share as a participant.
Oh, I am? Okay. Excellent. So,
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Simple.
yep.
But your image
Your-
doesn't show a crossbar.
Yeah, it's a
You're showing two vertical posts.
post, right? It looks like you're changing the post.
Yeah, I am changing the post.
But you're going to transfer that light fixture to where will it be? Attached to the top of the sign? Where is it going to be?
Where would you like for me to put it?
Good answer.
This is like deja vu all over again.
I know.
It looks like it has to attach to something pretty fat.
It also looks like it's hardwired.
Right, it does.
So you might need to just get a crossbar
Yeah.
for your sign. Just get
Okay.
another 4x4 or whatever
Yeah.
it will sit on to attach to.
Okay.
I mean,
Excellent.
that might be the easiest solution unless you decide to get a different kind of light that will,
Okay.
clip on or something. I mean, that looks like it's a pretty hefty light.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Pretty antiquated, yeah.
Yeah, it looks old too.
It does look old.
So if
Yeah.
it doesn't, if you go in there and if you go there and you check it out and for some reason it doesn't look like it's something you want to keep, then just, we're approving your sign, put your sign up and then just pick out a light and come back to another meeting. And it doesn't have to be you decide quickly.
I mean, as you heard, there are solar powered lights.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that idea.
So maybe do some more research on a light, but make sure you have that bar across the top that would support whatever you pick out.
Okay, wonderful.
Just a curiosity, do you have a number anywhere where somebody wants to find you? Is it on the building or how do they know where you are?
That's a good question. I currently don't have anything. I could put, like a 12, like, what you would buy for your house. The number.
Your entrance.
What's that?
Next to your entrance, put it on the building.
I could put it on the building or I could put it just on one of the posts.
Whatever looks good. I was just thought it was important if anybody wants to find your business and they know it's 12 Cove Road.
Yeah.
I think it's required.
I think it's required by the fire department.
Yeah, it
Oh,
has
it
to
is.
Well, not on the sign. though.
But
She
not
could
on the
put it-
sign.
She could
Not
put
on
it
the
on the
sign.
building.
Yeah, you could put it on the building
Okay.
and then
I
not
will-
ruin your nice new sign.
I know the sign's going to be so pretty. I can't wait. All right, so I will make sure to affix 12 on the building then. I'll do that.
I love
all right.
that building, by the way. Did you buy?
What's
it?
that?
I love that building. I was thinking, what could we do with that? It's so cute.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. My husband and I have been digging and finding so much history about the building.
Really?
And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to make music in there. And
Cool.
just, it's gonna be great.
Good.
That's terrific.
Well,
Good.
congratulations.
Well, welcome to Orleans.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, so, all right, let's make a motion for the sign and then we'll deal with the lighting. If that light works, then just use it. And if it doesn't work,
Okay.
then just come back with what you decide on.
Okay, and my husband just said there is a 12 on the building.
Oh, good.
So there we go. One less thing I have to worry about.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. I move we accept the sign application from Washashore Music as submitted for the 2 new posts and a crossbar, possible crossbar, not to exceed the dimensions noted in the application, with a background color of 1 shot dark blue. And that's it. Is there anything else to be in the location of the previous owner's sign? No mention of light. You're going to come back for that.
Second,
All in favor? Paige,
I,
Stephen,
Hi.
Deb,
I,
and Bernadette says aye. Motion passes 500. Thank you, Monica.
Thank
luck.
you. Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
See you guys around town. Have a good
Okay.
one. Bye-bye.
I.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Next on the agenda, we have Sunset Leisure, 96 Route 6A, 3 new signs for a new business. And we have representing tonight Simple Signs.
Yes, my name's Selena from Simple Signs, and I will be representing. The owner is also present in the meeting as well. Lynn.
Lynn, okay.
Somebody has to mute their microphone or something.
Is it Steve?
There's a private conversation and you could hear. There we go.
Correct, and that is.
Nope, it's still going.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, there, she's at the office.
By the way, I'm Lynn Johnson.
Sorry about that.
part owner
Hi,
of-
Lynn Johnson.
We have another historical meeting going on. Sorry about that. I asked
That's
him to be a little
okay.
more quiet.
Lynn, you're the owner of the business?
Yes, I own it with my son. And yes, it's our
Okay.
first business and we're really looking forward to opening.
Okay, why don't you?
Okay, so let's go over the signs. We have the colors now. We have the true colors, which that's great. Thank you for delivering those because they're quite different from the ones that are reproduced.
They
You know,
can be,
they're
yeah.
just they can be quite like that blue was a completely different color than the sample that she submitted. So that's why we have to have the samples. We're not bending any more rules. Because this is like a purple and it looks like blue and you know,
Yeah, no.
I mean, it looks bluish purple. Anyway, let's go over the signs. So were you there last year? You weren't there. It was another.
Was Barker's.
No,
No,
that
it
was
was-
Marco,
no.
but then there was
It
a temporary furniture store in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sunset Leisure is very different. It's
Okay.
very- do you want to hear about it or
Yeah,
do you want to go?
absolutely.
So I moved here a while back. So we're Washashores, but my son lives with me and we decided to open a business. We worked together in Eastham for about 3 years. And we decided to open a business together and it's a gift shop. It's called Sunset Leisure because we want to have things that are available to everybody after the sun goes down. So we're going to sell barware and we're going to sell some, specialty snacks. We're going to sell hammocks, and anything that causes you to relax with your friends and your family, some puzzles and games. We're looking for unique local stuff, and also made by local people, and also small batch items, so unique. And the inside of the store actually looks like a sunset. We painted the walls to look like a sunset, and the floor looks like the ocean. It's an epoxy floor that looks like water. So it's kind of a little bit eclectic. I used to be a stage director and a theater teacher, and I used to design sets. So that's what it is. And we're really looking forward to opening. We're almost ready, but the sign is
Yes.
That's important.
We'd love to have you all come and check it out.
That sign, there's been a lot of controversy about that sign over the
big pole sign.
Yeah,
The grandfathered in sign, as I
exactly.
just so you know, when in this, you're Selena, so
Yes.
we kind of structured the sign that we chose and the places where they're going to go based on what Barker's had previously.
Yes.
So we would be in the realm of, the right way for this to happen. And I know it's very colorful, but it's kind of goes with the feel of the business. So
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's great.
good. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Makes you interested in what's in the shop.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. Because you never know. We tried 300 different names, and this was the one we ended up with.
All right, so do we have any other questions? What is this? That's just something, that block thing?
Yes, so that was actually based off of, we had multiple photos from the day we went out, but the one from Google had the best straight on view. So I switched it for that one. So that's just happens to be how they describe that it's a shop or a retail business, something similar. to
Oh,
that.
it's a handbag somebody's walking
Yes,
in.
yes,
It's a logo that has nothing to do with this application.
Right.
absolutely, yes.
All right.
So there's two signs with the name of the business on it and one sign just describing what you're selling.
Yes.
Yes, so
Okay.
one building sign with the logo, one building sign with a description to help people, like she had described, understand what they're doing and why you should come in and all of that, and then the road sign with the logo.
It's good to me.
Yeah.
Any lighting?
There is
Like-
existing lighting there.
Pre-existing lighting.
Okay.
Okay,
I've
where?
been here long enough. We spent a lot of time on this one. So it was.
It
good
looks
that you
like, are they,
followed
are-
the placement, because it
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks
so
we
that
worked
goes,
with them for a long time to
Oh.
get that placement and get those lights.
Yeah.
in.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
we
yeah, it's
like
got
it.
the gooseneck. Yeah, the gooseneck lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember?
and it looks like are they red or are they a similar color? to
Currently,
the-
they are red. I
They're
think
red.
I spoke with someone. I wanted to paint them orange, which is just a shade different. And I don't know if that's allowed or not. It's either that or black. But black is, the building is sort of nondescript as it is. And so if we could have a little color, that would be great, just so that people
Right.
get a taste of what we have inside.
Right, I didn't
Well,
know.
you could match your orange.
Orange,
if you-
right, it
We
you
can
know.
looks
do that? Okay, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
I
it would
mean-
look it matched the orange in the sign.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bernadette.
No, that'd be fine. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Awesome, thank you. So that's very exciting. I do have a question about shutters, but I don't know if I have to reapply to, if we wanted to change the shutters, they're black. That's a whole other application, correct?
Just if you change any colors, you have to come before us. Anything, if you take the shutters off,
Oh,
any change in the building use, yeah, we've
Not
just got
used.
a definition from the town and, I would say anything, changes in color, design, or character, exterior building materials, windows or doors, light fixtures, signs, and pertinent elements shall be subject to review. So any
what about
color
vegetation?
changes.
What about plants? Is that,
No,
you know.
plants are fine. I mean, they're just gonna be, potted plants, or you're gonna pull out the
no, we're gonna
plants that are there.
keep the we're just gonna add some colorful, blossoms, some tiger lilies or, something to just add a little color, but hydrangeas maybe, because they're my favorite. My favorite part of living on Cape Cod is hydrangeas. Yeah, we might put a couple of pots out front. We'll probably have to take them in at night because, think people walk away with stuff. So we want to make sure they're safe.
Yeah, so if you decide to change the color of the shingles, you'll have to, or not the shingles, because
Shutters.
the shutters, then you just come back with a color sample.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. Thank you.
So in my copy, I have a hard time seeing it. I just want to clarify. The gooseneck lights over the sign on the
Are
building
there.
are going to be painted orange.
Yes.
The same color as Sunset, the same color as her
yes.
sign.
Yes.
They're red now.
And right now they're red, so it's not really a big change. They're red right now. Yeah,
Okay.
they'll match the sign.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the application as submitted with the additional approval that the currently red gooseneck lights be painted the same orange as in the sign.
Second, Paige.
We'll take a roll call for votes. Stephen,
Aye.
Paige,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
Bernadette says aye. Motion passes 5-0. Good luck.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
for
much. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Tina. I
Thank
hope
you.
come and visit us.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thanks.
And
you.
thank you for dropping these off.
Absolutely. Anything
Yeah.
we have to do. Thank you for your work with us and everything.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, last but not least, we have the Church of the Holy Spirit, the final review or continuation. 204 Monument Road presents their final landscaping plan. Did everybody have a chance to go down and look at the stakes and?
Yes.
take a peek?
This is Paige. I'm going to leave the meeting right now because of my conflict as a member of the church.
Okay, all righty. Who's presenting, Abe or Brian, or both?
We're here together. I
Okay.
think Brian will be able to probably add a little more detail than I will, but I think that hopefully it's clear there on the site plan what we're intending to do.
Yep. And you had a PowerPoint to present?
That
You're gonna-
is that it is right there. That is actually a PowerPoint presentation that you have.
Okay, great. Okay, are you putting it on the screen or we're just looking at it?
I could pull it up if you want to, but my hope was that everybody had a copy there.
Oh, yeah,
We do.
yeah, we do.
It's not
Great.
that many pages.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You wanna,
Do
you wanna read it, or?
What your,
Why don't you
Let's
explain
describe
to us,
what you're
Abe, what
doing.
you're planning?
So there on the cover page that you have there, talks about running a row of 10 green giants along to interrupt the view from essentially northbound on 28 heading in towards Orleans. And then as you all suggested in our last meeting, planting those green, sorry, I don't have the name in front of me, the plants on the north end of the parking lot that abuts Monument Road there. To screen the view as you're coming down Monument, really from both directions.
The slide says it's 20 green
20 green
giants.
giants and 10.
Yeah, you said 10, and 10 Ilex Blue Princess, which
Exactly.
is holly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for putting the stakes in the ground and giving us a heads up so we had time to take a look.
That was all Brian.
Thank you, Brian. We really appreciate that.
Well, I met Richard today at the site, and he was talking about, how big they're going to get. And of course, by the time they get that big, I won't be around anymore. So I might be planted underneath one of them. I'm not. But we had Richard Jenkins come out, and it was really interesting that you had all suggested that I talked to him, and I didn't realize it, but he was the original architect of our site and had done all the planning and site work there 25 years ago with Kathy Udall.
Wow.
And so he was very familiar with the site. My only concern about the arborvitae, they can get to be 75 feet tall. So we either have to, at some point, have to start chopping them off at a certain height, or we're going to have very, very tall trees there. So, and Richard was concerned a little bit about, that many of them 6 foot apart, they can get to be 20 feet across. So, but that gives you a good idea of what we're thinking of doing. I think that when we get the Blue Princess, which is a holly type of material, that it'll grow to keep it about 3 feet high. It'll go in about 18 inches to 2 feet. And I think that's going to take 95% of any of the view coming up north on 28, looking at the field, or coming down Monument to get on 28 south or north. It'll block pretty much 90% of all views. And I want to again thank Nancy for sending me the pictures, and that was instrumental in how we put the stakes in. So, and Richard, thank you for suggesting that we use the health department layout so that you could have a more accurate presentation. So we're good to go as soon as we can reopen the campus, and we'll start figuring out how to raise some funds to pay for this.
Can you just tell us how tall the trees are that he's going to plant?
They're 15 gallon. They'll be 6 to 7 feet tall.
Okay, well, that'll be excellent.
Yeah, I can't afford any more. They're $85 a piece. So
right,
that's an expensive tree. The next size up is $250 a tree, but I don't think we need to go that expensive.
No, I mean, and they grow. I mean, do they grow as fast as the Lelands?
No, they don't grow as fast as the Leland, but they have a better root structure. We could put the Leland cypress in, but we found out that they're a very shallow rooted tree, and so in a windstorm they're easily knocked down.
And you're on a slope. Yeah, you're on a slope.
And then on that steep slope that we have, we're concerned. So we went with the Thurgo arborvitae, which is the giant.
Is he going to plant them for you, Brian?
No, we haven't come to who's going to do that yet. We have a couple of people looking at it. We're trying to figure out what happened was a number of years ago, I think more than 10, but not more than 12. The state came by and ripped out about 30 trees. They just cut them, and they were locust trees, all right against the roadway, and just left them there. And I guess it was a free-for-all for Orleans town people to come and get free firewood. And so but we have a lot of locust stumps there. So we have to go just slightly to the east of those stake lines to make sure we don't hit tree stumps. I can't get a backhaul in there big enough to pull those out. And I'm afraid if we did, we might disrupt the roadbed because those things spread out. So we're probably gonna have to get in there by hand with a auger, a power auger, 2-man auger, kind of cut a lot of that creepy vines out of the way and just auger the holes in. We do have Paul Rainmaker says we can run an extension line of drip irrigation to the trees, so they'll be watered and be taken care of for that. And there is irrigation along where the Blue Princesses are going to go.
Great.
So we're okay there. The only other thing Richard and I discovered in looking at the or Stephen, I'm sorry, not Richard. I'm sorry, Stephen, I've been using the wrong name. We were standing there and someone has put a sign, and I guess it's the state, that says there's a cultural area. There's signs are popping up all over Orleans. No one called us to let us know that was going up, and I don't even know if it's on state land or
no, it's the town. So you could call the DPW, they can move it.
Did they come to you and ask if you could approve that?
No, Orleans was designated a cultural district, and part of the deal is that you have to have us use the state designated signs, and they just changed those signs.
Okay.
And but the town put it up. So if it's in your way, I'm a little surprised that they wouldn't have talked to a butter before just putting it up. But
They just came and did it. No one knows
yeah,
who did it and why, so.
yeah, but
All right.
yeah, if you just called DPW and asked them to move it. they
So
could-
yeah, the leader of the cultural district is
Joanna Keely.
Joanna. Yes, so she might be the person to get in touch with as well.
Yeah, but it's the DPW that puts the signs
Yeah.
in and moves them and everything else. So I agree with Deborah, because Joanna, Joanna would just have to call DPW anyway.
Right. Yeah.
To get them moved. So if you call over there, I agree with Deborah and just say, you want it moved.
Yeah, it's right next to our sign, welcoming. It's kind of like you are now an Episcopal cultural area, I guess.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's terrible. Oh my goodness.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Maybe it'll get us more attendees. When we,
You do have a gallery sign though, so now you're an art gallery too.
Yeah, you have a gallery there. That's
Yep.
So
true.
you're part of the cultural
And
district.
they'll be coming to you. I was talking to Sharon Lott, and she'll be coming to see you guys as soon as we finish and have, we have to have sign changed on those. So she's already talked to the building department, which will be putting an application in. So that I had talked with her today. My role is really building and grounds, taking care of that stuff. So any other questions on what we're doing and do you like the plan? Do you appreciate the stuff?
I think it's
clarity of what we're trying to do.
I think it
Well,
really
I
will
just
block
took-
it. I think it will really block it because there is one section when you're driving by where you really see the tops of them. And once those trees come up and they're, 10 or 12 feet tall, and I think they could be pruned, so that, it's going to take a long time for them to get 75 feet. And,
That's true.
in those soil conditions, it's not ideal, it's still going to be on a slope and
they're not going to be in a perfectly straight line. In fact, they shouldn't be. They should probably be a little staggered as they go across that ridge there a little bit. It's Carol whose idea it was to put in that spot where the holly is. I just took the pictures, Brian, but thank you. I have to give credit where credit was due.
Okay. So any other questions I can help you with?
No, I don't have any more questions. You did what we asked, and for that, I thank you, Brian.
Well, I also thank Abe because he's the one, I am fumble fingers around computers, and Abe was the one that actually put together, we both took pictures, but it was a team effort. And as far as the planting offset, I kind of agree with you, Nance, but I'm really going to leave that up to the professionals.
Right.
The right way to do it.
You have to work with what you got, depending on what root systems you hit. I understand.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Bernadette, you want a resolution?
yeah, I do.
I move we accept the application as submitted tonight as a final. And that's it.
Second,
Pretty
anybody?
simple. After all that, it's pretty simple resolution, Brian.
Okay.
And Abe.
Good job.
But
Thank
thank
you,
you
guys.
for working with us. We really appreciate it. You came through and did exactly what we were suggesting, and we thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We still
All
need
right.
to vote.
Thank you
We
all.
need a second.
We have to vote.
I seconded, and now we need to vote.
Okay, all right, all in favor, Stephen,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
and Bernadette, aye. Motion passes 401.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Abe.
Good night.
Okay, so on the last couple things to on the agenda, do you want to accept the minutes now?
I have one.
There was a typo.
where's the type? I also have a question.
Okay.
Where's the typo?
The typo on the minutes for the date, Melanie wrote that, she wrote March 11th and it was it May
Oh.
11th? No, it wasn't May 11th. When was the last meeting? I wasn't here. Was it April?
It was April 22nd.
April 22nd. So she resent those, so that's the typo.
The question that I have is under the Keller Williams Realty. The next to the last sentence where it says the KW letters, and Stephen, I think this was your conversation too. The KW letters will be moved over to the right towards CVS. CVS is not to the right. CVS is to the left.
Right.
Yes.
And it was not toward CVS. It was toward the right.
It was towards the right. Towards the right, moved over to the right, and I would just cross out towards CVS.
Okay, sorry, I was really confused.
Does
right now.
everybody agree with me?
Yes. Yeah, I
I
had that
believe you're
too.
correct.
Got it.
Yes.
There you go. That's
Thank you. Sorry.
that's okay. It's quite all right.
All right, so are we voting on that or are we gonna shoot? All right, so do you guys want to vote on the minutes? Do you want to?
I move that we accept the minutes of April 22nd, 2021 with the change of the date in the heading and the deletion of the words towards CVS under Keller Williams Realty.
Yeah. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? I wasn't here, so I guess Stephen,
Yep, I'm in favor.
Deb,
Yes, I.
Nancy,
Aye.
and who else voted at that meeting? Nora or Carol?
I was here. Aye.
I was
Nora
there.
did.
Paige didn't come
And
back to this
Carol
meeting.
did.
I was
Carol
there.
voted?
Carol did.
Okay, so, all right, so everybody voted? There's only 5 people that vote.
I know we were inclusive and
Okay,
everybody
all
voted.
right, yeah, I don't know why only 5 people vote, but all right, so, I guess,
We have the 5 right here.
okay, so we'll
Paige
just,
would be number 6.
okay, so everybody, voted in favor? Do you want to should we do a vote?
Sure.
Carol,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Nora?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 6-0-1. Is that right?
I think it's 501.
5-0-1. Okay. That's passed. All right, so now we're gonna move on. We'll talk about the signs on the glass, and everybody read the letter. I mean, I don't really see if there's any response to that. It was just to be included. We don't have anything to do with site plan, with a. Did everybody
know,
read the letter that was sent by the Louisa Fulton?
Just if anybody
Yes.
wants to know, this is a 40B application, and that means
Right.
that all zoning regulations are waived. It's a friendly 40B, and the developers have been working with everybody, and that's why they came to architectural review. They don't even have to do that.
They didn't have to, right?
And also, I did hear, I believe that in the rumor mill that the 40B was approved, and that means they just have to get the money together, the funding. But in that conversation, it was mentioned that they still have to do site plan review. And, you know, a few other, they have to go to the zoning board of appeals, and they still have to review some of the site plan stuff and get final approval.
Steve, you have something to say?
Yes, I'd like to comment as it applies to us, the ARC people. It would appear that the letter was written and arrived after the hearings. And the point is that these cases, the procedure for advertising and so on and so forth is very important. This particular individual, if they were so inclined, could start to check and see what were the advertising dates observed and so on and so forth, because it appears that they didn't find out about this until after the fact. So that's where I want to thank Melanie and so on for trying to do a very good job on this, because of its importance. We want to be careful about all these things, the minutes and so on and so forth, lest we be called out and having not observed some of these rules that tie into the whole zoning process.
Bernadette, just another comment. In the future, if there's going to be a informal review by ARC of a, listen to this, ARC of a 403B?
41B.
41B.
40B.
Okay, thank you.
40B.
That it should be stated up front. I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding that it was like a preliminary review and was going to go through a final review. And the truth is they really didn't have to come to us.
Right.
At all. So I think it's great that they did. I don't disagree, but I don't know if it was clear that they didn't have to.
Right, but I mean, I don't think that they can, even if, I mean, we've had one instance where I think they went to the Board of Appeals and it was appealed, but I don't think people can appeal our decision. I'm not really sure. Maybe they can. I'm really not sure. They can appeal our decision?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I thought about
they actually
bringing it,
can.
I thought about bringing it up at that meeting, because just to make clear that, and I think we, that they weren't going to be coming back.
Right.
But by the same token, they heard what everybody really wanted to see. And I think they want to try to help, and they said they would make the changes. So, at least we treated it like we were, we were really giving them our input. So that's good. And we would never have we don't have anything to do with parking anyway.
No, we don't. And a lot of those apartments, I mean,
Not our problem.
those are going to be filled with people who have children and stuff, and they're not going to be driving cars. I mean, if they need more parking.
Parking regulations are pretty specific, and, they're going to have to meet those requirements. So I don't think she needs to worry too much.
At least we're getting some housing in town. We need it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so let's move on. If everybody is done with that, if anybody else has something to say, let's just move on about the signs and because it's getting late, and we can bring it up again. We don't have to make any hardcore decisions right now, but we do have, at least we have the definition of a sign. We have some feedback that we didn't have before about the glass painting, and that's good, because we really didn't have any idea. So, I mean, it's pretty clear, as far as I'm concerned, that if you're advertising your business, I guess on the glass, It's a sign.
The sign.
If you just have a logo or a picture, I know this did come up with the corner store. I know it did because I
Yes.
remembered it specifically that they were
Yeah.
allowed to say burritos, tacos, drinks, this, that, wine, beer, but they don't have their name on any of it.
We didn't, I agree with you, Bernadette. We did not consider that, that running dialogue along the bottom of their windows as a sign. It was just, you know, additional information, for lack of a better term. That wasn't their sign. I remember that clearly, reviewing that.
Right.
I think the example that we can use with this one here is Goody's Tattoo. I mean, that is their sign.
Right, so that, I think we should come up with another list, because I did also see online that the other place that we told Tom about said that it was opening soon. The,
Yes. There's a
the-
couple of them. Abroad is open.
Abroad.
And their sign is up. The
Where's-
Cottage is in their second season and their sign is still up. You have Goody's Tattoo. And 10 Yen just added 2 window signs.
yeah, I mean, they could put, I guess, their logo in there, but they can't put the name.
Well, they
No.
did.
Hey, wait, everybody, pull out the bylaw. It described, there's a category called window sign
Yes, there is.
that describes pretty specifically what people can do. I think it really, because no permit or fee is required for window signs, it makes it really, I don't know, it seems like a very unworkable bylaw, because nobody's on notice that they need to get review of what would be a sign in their window. And
Well, I did notice that the bagel place, their whole sign is the window. Joe Mama's,
yeah,
their whole sign is painted on the glass. So, I
Right.
mean, I would assume that that was one of their 3 signs that they're allowed.
And that's been there for some time.
Right, so.
but actually the
you're-
window
you're saying
signs,
that-
interestingly, don't count towards your 3, and you can have as many in the window as you want.
But not
Wow.
ones with your name on it.
No, it doesn't, it
Where
doesn't
are
say
you
that
reading?
at
In
all.
this? Are you reading
Yeah.
in the zoning bylaw or in the
Yeah.
thing that George gave us?
In the zoning bylaw.
Okay,
We-
what page?
What George gave us just says that architectural review may review any change in the exterior appearance. And then we have our signs, but there's also a definition of a window sign
Where? What
with
page?
requirements. It's section
164:62
164:35
in the middle of the page, window
B.
signs.
B.
All right, one minute. All right, well, then that clarifies it further.
But it says that if it takes up more than 25% of the surface area, and Goody's Tattoo definitely does.
Well, I didn't think it was that big, but that one maybe, but not 10 yen.
No,
This is
10 yen
small.
definitely doesn't.
All right, so it's on 164:35B.
Yeah.
So
So
that's-
why
mine
is
says
George
something-
saying
Mine
that we
says
can,
something about boys and girls camps. What,
What?
164-35.
not dash, :62.
Well, that's the page number.
That's the page number.
Bylaw is 164-35. It's the
Right.
sign bylaw,
Okay,
and it's section C. And then the window signs aren't included in the 3. So it's the look that we don't deal with the percentage, really. I mean, we've never dealt with that. The building commissioner does. I don't know. I don't know how they ever expected this to be used, because no fee or permit is required. So the person
well,
doesn't
no
know.
fear, but Deb, no fee or permit is required to change the color of your door either,
I-
or
well,
your
that's
shutters. You
That's
don't
Go
true.
back to
And that's why
George's
people don't
memo.
know that they need to come. I was thinking maybe we should add this to the application
Yes,
to highlight for people, if you are planning to put descriptive lettering or a logo or your name on your window, you need to show
need to
us
see the
those
plan.
designs. We need to review those designs and approve them.
George's guidance tells us that if we want to, the bylaw subsection is pretty clear. Changes to building appearance require ARC approval.
Mhm.
And that's in his memo today.
I know, but is that really right? Like he also says in the window, everything is not a sign that's put in the window. So for example, people who do, seasonal decorations that they paint on their windows, we want them to come to ARC
No.
every time they do that?
Well, like,
No.
have you seen
For
Cumberland
heaven's
Farms? The
sake.
whole thing is covered. Every
What?
surface of the window at
Where?
Cumberland Farms. Every surface of every window is covered with a poster
Oh, yeah?
at Cumberland Farms. Every
Mm.
single surface.
So have we gone back to the definition of the sign at the very beginning, Deborah? Any device, including pictographs? I mean, what if we have to deal with a pictograph? Objects of similar nature, anything that's used to identify or advertise permitted use, service, or activity for the zone in which it's located. So that's very broad.
Yeah, but I
But
assume
it
that would
goes
cover
on, it
things
goes
like,
on,
that
we
would
need
cover
to
things
decide.
like burritos, tacos,
That you might put in a
That's what we're talking
picture.
about. Use the tattoo parlor as an example. He has no other sign identifying his business other than the one that's painted on that glass. So
Well,
that is his sign.
when he came before us, what did we approve then?
Never came before us.
Yes, he did.
He went before the Board of Health. He went before some others. He didn't come before. Melanie, can you hear me? Did we see the tattoo parlor?
I remember talking to him about the tattoo parlor. It was in the barber shop.
Yeah, he did.
He came to
did? He
ARC.
came? Well, then he didn't submit anything for a sign. Here's the one point
Why
I
else
want to
would he
make.
come to
George's
ARC?
memo said we can decide if we want to review signs such as this one. All I'm saying is he did it. Now 10 Yen did it. Some others are going to do it. The Rail did a whole panel of sign, like it would be a sign if it was painted on wood on the front of their door. It's going to expand and expand more and more, especially if they don't have to have it approved and it doesn't cost them anything. And it's going to spread. We need to decide on how to handle this and how to get a grip on it.
Do we?
Well, I think we need an attorney, because if the window sign definition is different than the definition of a sign. I mean, you've got a definition of a sign and then you've got a window sign, and they're contradicting each other. And it says, as such, a painted design on a window is not necessarily a sign unless it meets the definition above. And then it says it's used to advertise,
It's about as clear as mud.
Yeah. And what about an awning? What about Mahoney's? What about their awnings? Were those considered signs? Because they have their name on all their awnings.
That was approved years ago.
Right. But I don't know if it was approved as a sign or not, or, Anyway.
I think they left it open-ended. I think we should, I don't know, I'm just thinking one way to deal with this, to put people on notice, is to add it to the application where we acknowledge you can put stuff on your window that identifies your services and can be your logo or whatever, really anything you can do.
But not your
you have to
name.
meet we have to approve the look of it. and you have to meet the requirements that are set forth in the bylaw.
I don't think we have to approve the look of it. If you want to put
That's what
something
we
that says,
do.
well, if we say, if it says burritos, we're not going to approve that.
We have to ask the question,
We
is
have
there
to-
anything going to be added to the windows of your business? If so, what? And then we decide from there.
But,
Okay.
but I
We don't
think
even ask the
it
question.
is about the look of it. It's about, where
Yeah.
it's placed, what the font is. Does it look like the corner store looks great? But, I don't, it's hard for me to
What if we
imagine
don't
anybody.
like it? What if
What?
we don't like it? What if somebody in our group doesn't like it? It's not something we're voting on.
Well, yes, it is.
Yes, it will be.
Yes, it is. It would be just
Unfortunately,
like every other, if we don't, like a blue door, it'd be the same thing. It would be working with them
unfortunately, we're
to,
seeing these signs after they're already up. We're not
Yeah.
seeing them as proposed. That's
Right.
another problem. We're still into retroactive approvals.
some people may not know they're going to do it right away, but they really should know that if we're going to approve stuff in the windows that's a sign,
Right.
then they need to come back.
And
I
just
think
from
we're
a,
lucky with goodies is done in good taste, no pun intended. But he just went ahead and did it, period.
Well, he probably didn't know.
I guess I'd like to see what we approved for him. He definitely came before architectural review.
I
And-
wasn't,
and
I
we
must
approved
not
the
have been,
sign.
I don't think I was here.
I must have missed that meeting.
He
Melanie,
didn't open, he didn't
can you
open for a
help us
long
and take a
time.
look to see if you can find whatever we approved for the tattoo parlor?
Yes.
If I may
Thank you,
comment,
Melanie.
just very briefly, what was the original intent of the sign bylaw? It's to keep a whole bunch of junky signs from littering, creating visual clutter in our town, right? And can what we have in the bylaw now, is that still adequate, or do we
No.
actually need to change at that level where we propose an amendment to the bylaw?
If we're confused, the public is going to be confused. The
Yes.
business owner is going to be confused.
Right.
It has to be clearer than it is. And, to George's credit, he gave us some information here, but I still don't think it clears it up.
and I
Right.
think from a public perspective, if I'm just a consumer driving down the street, I'm not making a distinction between window and hanging sign. They all just appear as signs. And so from that perspective, they should be evaluated in the same way.
Well, somebody drive by Cumberland Farms and look at their windows.
Is
Yeah,
that the
it's
one
visual
down in
clutter.
South Orleans?
No, it's the one in, right across like from Staples around there.
By
Across from the
Staples?
red balloon.
Oh, that one.
Cumberland Farms,
Yeah.
visual clutter.
I mean, but they're posters. Yeah, they're posters.
They're not
They're
permanent. but
paper.
They could be removed and taken
It
down.
might be, if they're temporary, then they don't need to be
Yeah,
approved. That's
But it's
part of
not
the thing.
25%, it's 100%.
I mean, the bylaw contemplates window signs very specifically and has very specific parameters. I think the biggest issue is that, people don't read the bylaw, and even now, who would sit and read the whole bylaw? So people who apply
Right.
don't know that they need to talk to us about what they want to put on the windows.
George highlighted a sentence, and he highlighted it for a reason. Where it says changes which affect the appearance of a building, whether or not such work requires a building permit, including but not limited to changes in color, design, character, exterior, so on and so forth, shall be subject to review as provided in the sections on preliminary and final plan review. So these are changes. I don't care what it's painted on, glass, wood, whatever. They're changes, and they should be submitted to this committee.
Yes, agreed.
Otherwise, we're going to lose total I
Alright,
hate to use the word
wait,
control, but
so we'll have to note what we see, that we know we haven't permitted. And, and we'll let Tom Evers know, and he's the enforcer.
but I agree with you, Bernadette, but unfortunately, let's say the rail, use that as an example. You're not going to have that business remove all that from their door, that glass, all that information, that sign they painted on their door. And I wouldn't want to put Tom Evers in the position of going to that business to say, that wasn't approved, you have to remove it.
Well, when they come before us, we'll make it known that any additional signage, and I was gonna say it to Monica about the music place, because that Francis has a huge window.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She could write on their lessons,
Yes.
She should, actually.
Right.
She should.
Because
She should, so people would know what kind of business it is.
Yeah, because you don't really know what it is.
No.
Right. So she needs to tell people what her business is. So does she need to come back and get permission for that?
I mean, we can think about this a little more, but I really think, given how prevalent it is, and I agree with what you just said, Nancy, that if we would have approved it, if they brought it to us, then to go through a charade of making people, making Tom take time he doesn't have and marching people, in, just seems really, I don't know, uncool. It's uncool and not really, it just didn't give any notice to the people. And that we can do that going forward if we make the decision that this is something that we want to be looking at. And I've been on the committee a long time. We've never reviewed window signs.
But we've never had signs like this before, Deborah. I mean, these aren't just a few. I'm looking at a picture right now of the tattoo parlor. I'm looking at that. We've never had glass signs like that where the name of the business takes up 80% of the front window.
I think we better look and see what we approved, because we approved a sign for him. If he put up something that doesn't look like what we approved, then that's a different matter.
Okay, that is a different matter. I absolutely agree. But people are going forward. What did we approve for 10 yen on their windows? Nothing.
No, that's what I mean.
And they didn't put up the sign that we did approve. So they're making changes already.
Well, we don't know that he's not going to put up that sign. I mean.
No, we don't know that, but I just threw that in there.
Probably doesn't want to spend the money on it.
He said he had the sign. He probably just
that's right. That was that wooden sign, right?
Right.
He just hasn't, put it up yet.
But again, even that, he's entitled to put stuff in the window.
Yes.
We approved his other sign, which is his logo, and the ones in the window are his logo. So what we wouldn't say you can't do that. I mean, there'd be no reason to say that.
We didn't know it. He didn't ask. We didn't approve it. I think we're setting precedents that are not going to serve the community well. That's all. I don't need to beat it to death, but.
I agree with Nancy, but isn't that we have to make our role, our purpose, and the rules, better known. And I'm not sure how to go about that, but I'm hearing the excuse over and over again that they didn't know and they weren't told. At the building department level, should not, when they go to get the application, we have our form, but I'm talking about that signed permit application. At that point, there's the definitions and the lists and all this stuff is handed to them to begin with. I'm not sure how far you get with that.
And it doesn't say anything about windows. All I'm saying, if we added it, done, and then we could even also ask people or alert them to the fact.
Deborah's right. Add it to the application, because that's what they read. They read
like
that.
being window signage, off premise signage, whatever it is, that so that people were more aware of it. But I think beyond that, trying to get our role out there. I think a lot of people agree with the gist of it, to avoid visual clutter, avoid a whole bunch of tacky stuff. It's to everyone's benefit, but nobody knows who we are. They don't even know that ARC exists. A lot of people that I talk to, they never heard of it.
What?
I disagree with you.
Yeah.
Where did you get that picture?
Pretty well
Where
know.
did you get that picture of his tattoo parlor, Nance?
Where did
you get it? You took the picture?
I took it. Want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I know you sent it once, but send it again. And I'm gonna drive by. But let's I don't know. I'm too tired to talk anymore. Let's.
I think if we're gonna change the application, then before we do that, we should get clarity on exactly what we're looking for and what is or is not permissible. Because I'm just reading, it needs to be measured, referring back to section B. I mean, it's a little bit loose. I think if we're gonna, before we change the application, we need clarity, exactly what is acceptable.
And at a minimum, I agree, Carol, and at a minimum, when they are before us, we just need to be a little bit more thorough in our questioning. Are you going to put anything on the windows? Oh, yeah, well look at tonight, oh, yeah, we have a light. Oh, the music business, which we're all happy about. It's a beautiful sign. We didn't ask about lighting. It wasn't part of the application or the discussion. So we are working and bending over backwards to accommodate these businesses. And I compliment us all the time, and we should do that. But on the other hand, if we don't ask the questions, they're not going to tell us. Some of them.
Right.
They won't tell us.
Well, she's not thinking right now about what she's going to put on her window, but I'm sure she's going to put something on there that describes her business. Because people are going to think it's that she's selling records, or that she could be
a recording studio,
right? Lessons.
I actually thought it was a recording studio.
I was trying to guess too what it was, and yeah, I thought it was going to be a recording studio. But I mean, if we don't ask the question, folks, the way we are right now, without this lack of clarity, we just got to ask more questions certainly until we're out of this COVID mode and we could start meeting face to face, and they could start visiting the building department and getting maybe some answers to questions and clearer direction. I mean, we've been pulling it together for going on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we can decide either now or at the next meeting to modify the sign application. And at the bottom of the application, it could say all window art or a window signage, must be approved by ARC.
That's a good place to start, Bernadette.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, George said in his memo, we can decide if we want to review it. We should review it. 99.9% of it's going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be just a carte blanche,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Did we beat that to death?
Well, we can revisit
We
it again.
hashed it out.
We can revisit it, and we'll let Ada know. Well, let her know to just put a note on that says window signage, it is considered part of the application or can be part of the application. Because usually they're not thinking of that, or
it comes later.
Right. It comes later after they're first they're just developing their business, and then they're actually opening it, and they've got these big plate glass windows, and they want to put some information on there about what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. She might think a neon open sign is just peachy keen.
In the shape of a guitar.
In the shape of a guitar. There you go. There you go. All right.
All right, so,
I
may
move
have a-
that we adjourn.
okay,
I'll second.
all in
Bernadette's-
favor?
Bernadette's so tired, she can't even say it.
Tired and hungry. It's 8:15. All right, all in favor, Carol,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Nora?
Aye.
Bernadette says aye. So until the next meeting is adjourned, and it is motion passes 600. Meeting is adjourned at 8:16 PM.
And Melanie, you let us know what you find about the tattoo parlor whenever you can.
Thank you, Melanie.